Something strange happened the moment I changed how I breathe. Not metaphorically, not symbolically. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Reality itself began to respond differently. The way people spoke to me changed. My thoughts slowed down. Opportunities appeared where nothing existed before. And problems that used to dominate my life simply lost their grip. What's unsettling is this. Nothing external changed first. Same city, same routine, same responsibilities. The only thing that changed was my breathing. And once you understand why breathing has the power to alter your perception, your nervous system, and your relationship with reality itself, you can never go back to breathing unconsciously again. Because breathing is not just oxygen, it is instruction. Most people think breathing is automatic, mechanical, irrelevant, something the body does without permission. But that assumption is one of the most costly mistakes you can make. Breathing is the only system in the human body that is both automatic and voluntary, which means it is the only direct gateway between your conscious mind and your subconscious nervous system. Every breath sends a signal, not just to your lungs, but to your brain, your emotions, your hormones, and your perception of reality. And here's the part no one tells you. Your breath determines whether you experience life from survival or from clarity. It determines whether your nervous system interprets the world as dangerous or safe, chaotic or navigable, hostile or responsive. So when I changed my breathing, intentionally, I wasn't trying to relax. I wasn't chasing peace. I wasn't following a trend. I was unknowingly reprogramming how reality responded to me. To understand why this works, you need to understand one fundamental truth. You do not experience reality as it is. You experience reality as your nervous system interprets it. Your nervous system is the filter, and breathing is the remote control. When your breathing is shallow, fast, and unconscious, your body enters a subtle state of threat, even if nothing is wrong. In that state, your brain prioritizes survival over perception. It narrows focus. It scans for danger. It exaggerates problems. It loops old fears. This is why anxious minds breathe fast. This is why stressed people feel trapped. This is why overthinkers cannot access intuition. Their breathing keeps them locked in the past or projected into imagined futures. I lived there for years without realizing it. Then, something unexpected happened. I began experimenting, not with affirmations, not with mindset hacks, but with breath patterns. Longer exhales, slower rhythms, pauses between breaths. Within days, my thoughts changed before my circumstances did. The mind quieted, the emotional charge around problems weakened, and something deeper emerged, a sense of internal authority. Neuroscience explains this clearly. Slow, intentional breathing activates the vagus nerve, the primary regulator of your parasympathetic nervous system. This system governs safety, creativity, connection, and clarity. When activated, the brain shifts out of threat detection and into perception mode. You stop reacting. You start observing. And this is where reality begins to shift. Because when you are no longer reacting emotionally to life, you stop reinforcing the same timelines. Your breath determines whether you collapse reality from fear or from coherence. Most people attempt to change their lives while breathing like they are being chased. The body never believes them. When I changed my breathing, my internal state stabilized. And when the internal state stabilizes, perception changes. People responded differently, not because they changed, but because I did not signal threat anymore. Opportunities emerged, not because the world became generous, but because my attention expanded. This is subtle, and that is why it is powerful. Breathing does not force reality. It aligns you with it. There's a reason ancient traditions guarded breathing practices with secrecy, because breath controls consciousness, and consciousness controls interpretation. When your breath slows, time feels different. When time feels different, urgency dissolves. When urgency dissolves, intuition becomes audible. I noticed this pattern repeatedly. Moments where I consciously slowed my breath were moments where solutions appeared without effort. This isn't mysticism, it's biology. Carbon dioxide tolerance increases, blood oxygenation improves, the brain exits fight or flight, and suddenly, your internal environment becomes coherent. When the internal environment becomes coherent, the external environment responds with less resistance. Breathing doesn't change the world. It changes how the world meets you. This is why two people can live in the same circumstances and experience entirely different realities. One breathes from tension. The other breathes from presence. Presence collapses different outcomes. I realized something profound. I wasn't stuck. I was breathing like I was. Once I learned to breathe as if I was safe, even before evidence appeared, reality reorganized itself around that assumption. Not dramatically, not instantly, but consistently. And consistency is how reality shifts. Here's the truth most people never hear. Your breath is not responding to your life. Your life is responding to your breath. Every inhale sets expectation. Every exhale releases identity. If you breathe like someone overwhelmed, reality mirrors overwhelm. If you breathe like someone grounded, reality softens. You don't need to control your thoughts. You need to regulate your breath. Because breath reaches places thought cannot. This is not about escaping problems. It's about changing the internal posture from which you meet them. And once that posture shifts, the same life feels entirely different. That is what happened to me. I didn't manifest a new reality. I accessed the one that was already there, waiting for me to breathe differently. If you understand this, you stop trying to fix life. You start regulating yourself. And from that place, reality follows. Because when your breath changes, your state changes. When your state changes, your perception changes. And when perception changes, everything does. This is not the end. It is the beginning of conscious breathing. And once you cross that threshold, there is no returning to unconscious living.